on chaos war, but let me give you my encounter. Let me give you a couple other things. Let me give you a couple other things in this history so it can make a good tape. First of all, let me go through a couple things that I did also too that also lined up to this and stuff to give you a chronology of how I've been working with this stuff and how a lot of the shit didn't pay off up until 2000 and the shit started hitting. I did a series of rituals from 93 to 96. And I got a little bit of energy, but I didn't get the kind of energy I was looking for. I was a little bit disappointed in the stuff. So I put down the rituals in 96, and then I went through all this dark side stuff, learning more and more about the deeper realms of the occult, or even experimenting some stuff to deal with some deeper realms of this stuff. And then in 2000, I did a ritual on doing the Super Bowl, which was interesting because I knew some shit was up because I knew if the Titans got in the Super Bowl, they was going to lose to the Rams. Now, you sacrifice a ram to the gods, not the gods to the ram. But we knew that was going to go on. It was a big ritual and all that stuff. So I did this other ritual at that particular time. It wasn't a Voudoun ritual. And I got a lot of stuff on dreams and sleep and stuff. My girl was a little bit disappointed. After I did the ritual, she turned around and said, now it's time for me to leave. I know I got to leave now. So she knew after she came out of that ritual, my ass was kicked to the goddamn curb. And it wasn't necessarily because of the ritual or nothing like that and all. The reason why my girl had to leave and all, because she said, I got to go. It's time for me to move on. So I was like, yeah, I think it is. So, but not before we did this other ritual, about a month later, after the Super Bowl, we did another ritual, and this time they said, take the same thing and add the Voudoun back into it. Because when I ended it in 96, I had tapped into the Voudoun, and I still didn't get what I was trying to do. And I came back this time, and I tapped into the ritual that night, and that night when I laid down, they came, just like I figured they was, and it was all up in my skin. It was like 1,000 little men walking all over my body. So I started laughing and shit. Because after almost 6 years of not getting what I wanted, shit, I don't give a damn if a monster came up there and chewed my damn head off, I'd have been happy. Because I said, Lord, if I lay down tonight and I wake up tomorrow and ain't nothing happen, I'm going to be highly disappointed in shit. And hell, I might go and just get me some good poison and call it. Because I'm tired of suffering. So when I laid down, when I got in the bed, they started coming. I guess they said, we better come now, because this motherfucker is about tired of this dumb shit. So they came, and it was like 1,000. It was all up in my body. It was walking all around. So instead of me being scared, I was happy and shit. Hell, after 6 years and shit, I'm like, damn. You know, do something. Spank a nigga or something. Throw a nigga out of bed, bust my head against the wall. Do something, damn it. We down here suffering. We need some power. Right. So they came, man, and they was all over the body and stuff. Kundalini energy rose, and they was walking all around. It was like 1,000 little men. I said, man, this is some shit. So I got up the next day and I wrote about 30-something pages of information in like 30 minutes. And some of this information, 30 pages, might take you a damn week. I said, this thing is rolling. I fucked around and didn't give them no water. The week they down there starved to death. You know, they were like, we got to get up out of this nigga body. But I had them up in me. I was walking around with them. I said, I got this shit. Fuck around and they give them no damn water. They like to die up in there and shit. But they left out the body, but they stayed close around. And so when I went to the conference the next week, they was around, and that's when the little sabotage thing tried to go down in the conference and stuff. They didn't know I had the Veves all over the whole conference hall, and when the doggone people, they had a forum. They was going to come up in there and go try to jump on a nigga in the forum. But that nigga sat down behind the Veves in the fucking room. And I had a big old glass of Miles room there. And they sat down right beside it. I said, y'all dumb asses, I got y'all ass now. So I just took over the conference and started running the shit on the doggone panel. And on the panel. Then I came here the next week. It was interesting. And all because that night, after the panel discussion, my man admitted, he said, you got some whole lot of power around you today. Mr. Michael Frost. That night when I got up and I went in the restroom, And it was, and I figured it was about 4 o'clock in the morning. I figured I was sleeping, and I went and laid back down, and I rubbed my hand against the blanket, and these blue sparks started shooting. And I said, oh, I'm dreaming, man. I got to be dreaming. And I rubbed it again, and the blue sparks kept shooting and shit. And I rubbed it. I said, damn, this shit here. I said, oh, hell, they're still around. And they still around. And so, started working with a certain amount of the ritual. And basically, in so many words, I struck gold on this thing. I struck gold on it, and been dealing with a couple of things up until this particular time. So what I want to do is, first of all, I want to give you a history of this thing on what is actually going on. The Typhonian Egyptians, which is your pre-dynastic Egyptians, had figured out a system on how to end this shit down here and get out of slavery. They had powerful rituals and stuff because they all had detailed files on how to do this. But the dynastic Hemmites came in and took over, and they went to war with them. And you'll get the war to fight between the Typhonians, which they say the fight between Set and Horus. But you'll find this particular war that went on in the pre-dynastic and dynastic between the two to establish what you call Upper and Lower Egypt. And Zechariah Sitchin mentions it in his book. Wars of Gods and Man. And he mentions it and stuff. So in so many words, the Typhonian Egyptians, the pre-dynastic, possessed rituals that could destroy the world, and they led a revolt against the sun god, which is supposed to be this demiurge, which is the ones I was telling you about over the course of the years, these people that don't want us to get up out of here. It's a group of entities, what we call the seraphims and shit. They are old and they want to keep us in slavery, and they don't want to relinquish the power. But they know we got to rise up. Right. You see, so what it is this here. When we worship them, they're telling you they love us. And they do love us. They love our physical bodies because this is their slave. But they don't like our soul. So when our soul starts to rise up, and you start coming into knowledge, they start making it hard for you. That's why most people that's into knowledge and shit got financial problems and all kind of shit. That's why it is key that once you get into higher knowledge, you got to take the spiritual baths. And I talked about the spiritual bath last night on how to do that type of thing. And we'll go back into that also too. But anyway, they led a revolt against what they call the demiurge, the sun gods, the demons, the divas, their jailers. But they failed because they were met by fellow Egyptians, the younger dynastic Egyptians who defeated the Typhonians and pushed most of the pre-dynastic Typhonians out of Hemmitt. And they destroyed most of the magical texts. These texts now is represented in Voudoun in the reconstruction of these particular texts, but in actuality, the new gods or the new magicians that wield the power is the ones that make up their own shit. So right now, don't worry about destroying the world right now, because you might not have the power to do it if you don't know what you're doing. But you can also, what you can get in practice of your everyday life by writing rituals out to the same Voudoun energy to get what the hell you want down here. But the best ritual is the one you write for yourself. You see what I'm saying? The key to the new wars is that the black heirs is the only ones that can use the energy for this particular war. That's talking about us. The fellow Haitians preserve the power, but don't know who the damn beast is. You see what I'm saying? It's something about growing up in an island or a country or a continent where the majority of people look like you. So the whole concept of these other people being a doggone oppressor don't register even to a lot of the people on the continent. Other than South Africans, pretty much now I met a lot of them, and they know that man is the devil. You see what I'm saying? They know he's the devil and all, but then again, they are devoured, void of knowledge, and there's probably other Africans also too. The problem is we don't go on the offense. You see what I'm saying? And most of us in America, just about all of us are on the defense. We always wait for the crack of the strike, and when he strike, it takes us 20 years to regroup. Right. Or he strike every damn day, and we don't know he's striking. Right. Until we look up one day and all the shit is falling apart, we go, what the fuck happened? You see what I'm saying? What the hell happened and stuff. So in actuality, what we want to do right now is we want to go into this Voudoun chaos war. And what we want to do is what you literally do is you dedicate yourself to these entities. And when you dedicate yourself to these entities, what happens is once you initiate into the society, so we can initiate ourselves. So there's no whole thing about, there's people say, you got to be initiated and all that stuff. You got to go to Yoruba land, you got to go to Haiti, you got to go to Nigeria, you got to go to Cuba. Damn that. Hell, I got to go somewhere and shit. I don't even have money to get across town. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Don't have bus fare half the time. I'm going to go all the way to damn Yoruba land and Nigeria. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying is initiation, we do the initiation ourselves. There's a good one coming out of the Voudoun workbook, a little short passage, and all basically what we want to do is spit this wrong and dedicate yourself to the spirits. And so therefore, because you initiate yourself, you don't have to worry about it. You initiate yourself in this particular temple of power right now. And because you've initiated yourself, whenever you're ready to access the power, all you got to do is call on the shit because you are a part of that whole realm now. Right. You understand what I'm saying? You're a part of that whole realm now. So let's spit some rum. Let's spit some rum and let's spit this.
Well, I was thinking, you missed the books this time.
I'm looking right through.
Right, you can annoy me over here.
Yeah, I missed it. All right. Spit some rum. Get the flow going. Let's call on issue. Let's call this libation up. And then let's go into this dedication. Issue Oro. I said issue Ibun. I said issue Alakatu. Issue Gogo. Issue Rara. Issue Ijelo. Issue Ayedi. Issue Dora. Issue Jeko Doda. Issue Gun Jekada. Issue Ilkun. Issue Sorari. Issue Lula. Issue Peta Si Awa. Issue Kadi Junji. Issue Peka. Issue Emila. Issue Aurori. Issue Akani. Issue Okobo. Okay. Amazoo. I say Abadi, Adi. I say Eduardo. I say Agani. I say Dallas City. I say Baruch Martin. I say Richard LaCroix. I say Dambala. I say Rasuli. I say Gay. I say Gandoris. I say Lasarini. I say Neba. I say Lover. I say Napa. I say Mission. I say Ogumarani. I say Ogusango. I say Judy. I say Ogun. I say Siri. I say Papa Zaka. I say Papa Dede. I say Dede. I say. Okay. Now, just repeat after me because we got the stuff going and all. This is the dedication to the hoodoo spirits. And also I located a book for you. Oh, yeah. And all also too. My brother's doing the spiral bound. Cool. But it's shit. The what you call it ain't that good no. So I got the hookup. So, oh light, there is no darkness. No, repeat after me. Oh light, there is no darkness in the powers of the dead. Oh light, there is no darkness in the powers of the dead. I am a great child of light. I am a great child of light. Of the great master under the sea. Of the great master under the sea. Medium of Holy Spirits and waters below. Medium of Holy Spirits and waters below. And beneath all worlds, Holy Spirits of the dead. And beneath all worlds, Holy Spirits of the dead. And the seas, I am here to serve you. And the seas, I am here to serve you. I dedicate myself to the service of the spirits. I dedicate myself to the service of the spirits. To the wonderful spirits of those of the dead ones. To the wonderful spirits of those of the dead ones. Who seek to help me, and to those wonderful spirits. Who seek to help me, and those wonderful spirits. Of the wise magicians under the sea. Of the wise magicians under the sea. Who come in strange forms. Who come in strange forms. I ask the help of I ask the help and the presence of the hoodoo spirits. I ask the help and the presence of the hoodoo spirits. And I call upon the beings of the hoodoo to aid and assist me. And I call upon the beings of the hoodoo to aid and assist me. the service of the great King of the dead.
I offer myself to the service of the great King of the dead,
who rule over the spirits of the dead.
who rule over the spirits of the dead.
I offer myself to the service of the great master of the magician spirits.
I offer myself to the service of the great master of the magician spirits.
Okay. Who are working under the invisible seas.
Who are working under the invisible seas.
I honor all spirits and especially those of the Voudoun science.
I honor all spirits and especially those of the Voudoun science.
These I seek especially to work. Let me get this right. These I seek especially to work with now and forever.
These I seek to especially work with now and forever.
Ashe.
Ashe.
All right. So,
Oh, let me change the tape.
yeah, okay. That worked, huh?
Yep.
So the person on tape land.
Okay, you're on, Bobby.
Okay. So like I said, all the people in tape land, or video land, or TV land can also repeat after that also.
This the dead.
Can repeat after that also. I'm trying to see if I had anything else that I wanted to talk about before we go back into a question and answer period and all. Let's see. Yeah, let's go into a question and answer right now. To the people that want to inquire about some things, let's go into a question and answer right now. Any questions?
That's strange. Just did that big old ritual.
Could you give a estimate time that the struggle between the pre-dynastic Kemites and the post?
Yeah. Basically, that's real clear. The whole thing with Medes and when they start with the dynastic period. You just basically
the dynastic period
Yeah.
at the beginning
of the
post-Tyrenian.
Yeah. No, this is the Typhonians are pre-dynastic Egyptians.
Right.
The dynastics are the Ammonites of the Osirians, which is not necessarily bad. It's just a matter of changing the guard. It's just a matter of changing the guard. So we're talking about when you see Medes or you see the establishment of the dynastic period.
Yeah, but with Medes, yeah.
It would be the suppression of the pre-dynastic period, which would be the Typhonians. Jeremiah goes into a lot of that. Book of the Beginnings.
The book of Beginnings?
Yeah, Book of the Beginnings. It might be in Natural Genesis and stuff, but he goes into a lot of that in Book of the Beginnings also, too. As a matter of fact, he goes as far as to say that the Hyksos was not an outside invader. The Hyksos was the Typhonian Egyptians, which makes sense because how is it that the outside invader come in and the chief god that they worship is Set Titan? How the hell are they going to come with an Egyptian god name if they're outside invaders? You see what I'm saying? And it makes a lot of sense. I can't see how the Hyksos can come in with a couple of horses and take over the most powerful nation on the earth. But if you're talking about a changing of the guard and we're just talking about a changing of a political system, that can happen right there with the same damn Egyptians. And I want to know how some outside invader can rule for almost 150 years. So it makes sense what Matthew was saying that these were the doggone, the Hyksos or the shepherd kings was in actuality the pre-dynastic Egyptians. Usurping power.
These are all black people. These were no white people.
No. Ain't all black people. Ain't no people or whatever. People wasn't even goddamn out of the caves at this particular time. So my point here was it doesn't make any sense. And even they talk about this Hyksos thing, is probably some people made up shit to cover the fact of the doggone usurping the power of the Typhonians. They come with some outside obscure invaders to try to do this thing because they don't want Kemet to be this most powerful nation. They want that shit to reside in Rome. You see what I'm saying? With Rome. So that whole shit don't make no sense because why does the Hyksos people worship Titan? And even with Hatshepsut, she also had a whole admiration for Titan, as well as why. In that case, what the hell is Seti I and the Seti kings of the Ramesses Pharisees kings who were also Typhonian worshippers, as well as Akhenaten. Because the Aten this is traced back to Ethiopia. And it's also from a Rahirukahuti, which is also the old Typhonian thing. So in so many words, we got a history of Kemet where you got the priesthoods of the different worship systems battling back and forth for supremacy, and wasn't necessarily no outside invaders. And that makes a lot more sense. You see what I'm saying? There's some outside invaders that's supposed to come someplace else. They come in with Egyptian gods.
So that was the major influence of the breakdown of Egypt?
No, basically in so many words, I don't think we always try to look. Yeah, they talk about that, but I think in actuality everything was inevitable. I think we always look at this thing as a tragedy, as if we failed and we didn't fall, we deteriorated. Right. The start of dynastic Egypt, when you have your monumental phase, is already the end of this shit. Because even if you go with even Manetho's history, he said before the dynastic period, or before the pre-dynastic period, a whole bunch of gods used to rule. So we're talking about gradual stages on down, and this thing was inevitable because that's the laws of the universe. Everything must change, and everything goes back to chaos. So in so many words, the whole African dilemma and the whole African situation was not that we failed based on mistakes. Right. We deteriorated. It was inevitable, but if the man changed the timeline to just a couple thousand years, you can say we failed. But if you go back to the complete timeline, that like Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, and like the Necronomicon say, 66 trillion years. Or talking about we don't have no birth record of this shit. Then in actuality, we're talking about even if we go conservative, thousands upon thousands upon thousands of years, then the whole thing of a deterioration would make more sense. You see what I'm saying? Than us just falling. We say that now because the flip side is we all fucked up and we want to know how we was great like that and end up like this. From the pyramid to the project. But the whole key is, you see the whole key here is that it deteriorated. Even Dr. Ben said this, the time ran out. But if you go by thousands upon thousands upon thousands of years, or even millions of years, then this is only an intermission period, and we basically, like all things in nature, it deteriorates. That's just the way of the universe, and the way, especially the earth, but the way of the universe is all things is in a flux of change back to chaos. Everything deteriorates back to the original form. So we didn't necessarily fall. Just time ran out. We putrefied on their ass.
There's a book, When Egypt Ruled the East, by Keith Steele. Jeff, hold up a second. In the book, When Egypt Ruled the East, Keith Steele goes all through how during Ramses' time, this was the first time when Egypt had an empire that was outside the continent of Africa. You know, and like that, they was physically running everything. If they went to physically run everything, then that's a form of hurrying up the fall. Because when Egypt was great, they didn't give a damn about physical war. Right. See, so even though they was great and dogging folks out left and right, had the army and everything, that ain't what life is about.
Well, also, too, they said after the whole dynastic thing with between the Typhonians, or what you call the Hyksos, they beefed up the army, and they became more of a military nation also, too, even because, you know, Tutmosis and them went all up and did a lot of things like that, too. And even Dr. Benjamin said we was never the same after that also, too. So that has a lot to do with it, too. You know, where they had to rely on the physical structure of maintaining the civilization other than the spiritual structure of maintaining the civilization. You see what I'm saying? Physical structure, you just got to be around the clock. And you got basically, this is what you got to do all the time. I can't show you that now. He don't fuck around when it comes to his defense. He always brewing up some shit to stay in power. Right. You know, that's the whole concept, live by the sword, die by the sword. Right. You see that whole concept, so that has a lot to do with it too. What's that, brother? You had a question?
I wanted to, you shed some light on Jupiter and what spiritual effects it has to do with voodoo.
Jupiter?
Because I got this video from Dick Gregory's called Jupiter Menace. And this guy, he's I think he played in Naked Gun, the white police officer. Yeah. First he comes on the scene, he's breaking down this ancient race of people called the Tiwanaku, I think. And he shows how they just up and disappear out of nowhere.
Yeah, I heard about them. Yeah.
The atomic bombs that they sent there.
No, he's talking about the Tiwanaku. This has happened before with the, what you call it?
Was that in Mexico?
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's saying the reason why they was charting the stars, they knew at a certain point they can extend to another dimension by using energy from Jupiter, I believe.
Yeah, Jupiter is supposed to be the light of Jupiter. And the light of Jupiter is supposed to be polarized by Saturn. That was the whole thing. There's no problem getting on another dimension. That dimension that you get on is still a plane. And a plane is still just another form of the matrix. It might not be physical matrix, but you can go. You know, the people got on a plane in 1956. Was able to go to the third dimension. You know, they were able to go to the third dimension in 1956, which is still low level. In Tiwanaku, they probably did go to another dimension because you hear things like that, like the people in Roanoke, Virginia, that disappeared. In the movie Phantoms, Dean Coombs' Phantoms, when the guy's in the car, he's talking about all these people that disappeared off the earth. You know, so yeah, that dimension and all, but as far as you're saying, as far as Jupiter, Jupiter astronomically or whatever, even in the celestial ship of the north, it says that that's what the Dogons was doing, polarizing Saturn and Jupiter. But I think that this is more of a dimensional thing, and it doesn't have anything to do with them actually going to physical Jupiter.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Those particular aspects of what they call the astronomical things is also in our body, and going to a certain level of that part, you can get up on a certain form of the astral plane. That's all this thing is the astral plane. The astral plane is still a form of the matrix. It's just that we're just living on the physical form of the matrix. But there's other forms of the matrix, and that's what the yogi masters do. They go up on these astral planes and they be telling people they have ascended. They ain't ascended shit. They're in probably a better place than the earth, but still it's a form of an illusionary realm, because this whole universe has to be destroyed to set up the real, true spiritual aspect. If you couldn't ascend, then why not everybody ascend?
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Especially the oldest people in the damn world. If we can't ascend, then what the fuck is what's up? You see what I'm saying? So the whole aspect is there's different astral planes. And the astral plane is still just an illusionary phenomenon. And all this stuff. The real deal thing is setting up the New Jerusalem on the earth, which is talking about this whole thing crystallizing to just knock out all the other planes of Maya illusion. But there's other planes of illusion also too. And so the yogi masters go and they ascend to these planes and stuff like that, but they ain't high enough because that shit is an illusion. The key is to destroy this shit and make a new reality, and it can only have been done now in a series of eons and times also too. Give me some questions. Any questions?
So when we go into our dream state, we go to just another illusionary?
Not necessarily, because it's interesting, because the astral planes happen to do with something outside of the body. When you astral travel. The inner planes is the paradise, the second Aru that I talked about, the part of the Great Mother, which is waiting to be rebirthed. And we go there. So it's like another dimension, but it's not fully born yet. But it's going to take us to do it, and the energy inside of us, but we go there. That's where your people go to that particular realm when they die, and they live inside of us. You see, that's called the inner planes. Those are the outer planes, which is the astral planes. The inner planes is called the Elysian Fields. It's the land of the dead. And that's where we go, which will be the new paradise. You see what I'm saying? It just hadn't been totally formed at a particular time, but it's on its way coming. You see. Give me some more questions.
What about what period with did the Great Black Mother separate the male and the female?
She didn't separate the male and the female. It was more. Well, I think it happened beyond.
You say it was the Libra, astrologically speaking, was injected into the zodiac to bring balance to Virgo and Scorpio. And symbolic on a astrological plane again, we're talking about balancing the negative and the positive energy, the yin and the yang. The great black mother, the feminine energy, injected Libra into the zodiac specifically for that purpose. And on the physical plane, it was because human beings had degenerated, sexually speaking, because they were hermaphroditic, and they could just go behind a tree and do their business, and they didn't want to evolve from that. You see?
Oh, I don't know. That's a new one on me, man, because I got a whole other historical reference on. I mean, I'm not saying that yours is not valid. I just don't know about it. You know, I'm just saying. And I do know there's different stages, and you are right. There was a whole hermaphroditic type realm that we were in. They talk about that in Plato's corruption, on how there was one entity and literally it was separated. But I deal with the mythological aspect of the separation of these things would be the whole thing when Zeus threw the arrow, which would also be the whole Amun-Ra thing. But I get the version of it coming more closer to the original creation period. You see what I'm saying? And the creation of the physical realm period also too. But not necessarily saying that what you broke down astronomically is not explaining the same thing.
Right, that's what
But I do, because I do
parallel.
Yeah, it is. I'm not saying that it's not explaining the same thing. You just gave me the astronomical version, and I won't say that that's not valid. Because I do know that basically what I get in this thing is also there was a split between the male and the female. It was one androgynous energy. And see, there's a good book called Androgyny, out now by June Singer, which was out of print all these years. Androgyny, her book is back out. Just came, it was out of print for a couple of years, and it's back out now. And it deals with a lot of that in that particular book, between the yin and the yang and all. And that book was out of print, but that book is now in print. June Singer's book, Androgyny. Also too. So I do know of texts like that. You just gave me the actual astronomical thing, and I'm not necessarily saying that it's not wrong. It's just that I didn't know the astronomical part. You know what I'm saying? I know, but I do bear witness that the whole thing comes from one single essence.
The celestial ship of the North, she makes reference to it.
Okay, yeah. Okay, well, I'm familiar with her book, Celestial Ship of the North, also too. Yeah.
So now, how long did you say our bodies would be in tune now that we've said the Voudoun ritual?
To this particular point, the point is on now. I mean, we're talking about doing stuff now because we understand if there's any kind of water going to go on, we have to initiate it. I ain't calling myself the Christ or nothing, but I understand when you call upon things to do things and all, it's the work that we have to do. Right. So in actuality, with this particular energy, you must believe that you are a part of that particular realm now, and it manifests.
And if we take some like spiritual baths and all, it will strengthen it, or
yeah, because that strengthens your aura. But now it's to do a whole lot of work. But I would suggest also too, and what I used to do is I would make it either a daily ritual to at least pour the light. It ain't gonna take you no more than less than 5 or 10 minutes to pour the libation to these Voudoun spirits here to polarize that energy. See, the more and more you pour libations to them, or blow the rum every day or whatever. It only take a few minutes. You can do it in the afternoon. You can do it whenever you do it. But if you put in practice, what happens is this energy builds up. And not only does it build up, it builds you up. As well as when you throw a little bit of food up in there on a plate and shit, and you really get the energy to build up. So also too, I think one of the aspects also too is with this thing here, because you did the Voudoun thing, the Voudoun spirits, and this is some part of the lower. I mean, because you can take the damn 20, 30 minutes to do the 1 to 200 something in here. But basically, the cheap ones, I think that if you just did that, you could build up a certain amount of energy in the house until, in actuality, what will start happening is the creative information on what you need will start coming out. Because I can't necessarily say what your soul is going to do. But we can say that because we initiate it and we take the steps to make this energy stronger, then what happens is you can make enough energy in the put enough energy in your house or in your temple that in actuality a lot of things that you are supposed to do will also come into focus, as well as having the power to do it.
If you're saying them, but you're not doing correct things with the power and the energy, you know, will it back up on you?
Be honest with you, the thin line is between this. The thin line, if you understand, it's the thin line of psychological. If you understand that you're running this shit, then you can do what the fuck you want. And ain't nothing gonna back up on you. But if you go at it that you are giving, if they running this shit, then see it's a thin line and you gotta do what the hell they say. You see what I'm saying? So I tell them straight up, you might run around this motherfucker, but you don't run this shit. And in so many words, it's a chain of command. Because we have fallen and we were the ones the last to be down here, we gained the heirs. The whole thing with Horus, when Horus was a child, they are his protectors. But as Horus become an adult, they become his servants. They are our servants. And you don't chastise the master, so it's a thin line. And I think that's also the inbred fear in us that some shit is going to happen. I do what the fuck I want, and I call on when I want and stuff, and no shit don't happen with me.
What kind of offense should we use when we call on? I mean, what is our agenda? What is our program?
Well, that's going to be your program on how you figure it out. My program is, I'm working towards trying to end this shit. That's just my energy. But I'm saying there's all types of things in the process before we doing that. I'm just talking about what I'm doing. I'm not necessarily saying I'll be successful at it. So I'm just talking about what I'm dedicated to doing. By myself. This has nothing to do with nobody else. But I'm just saying there's all types of things because I had to call on them recently for everyday life. Just for understanding. You see what I'm saying? But I'm working in the aspect of the master now. I'm not damn worshiping nothing.
Right.
As well as I'm running the damn show. Because I have earned the right to do that because they are in me and we are the ones that wield Excalibur. We wield the power.
Yeah, we're the gods.
Yeah, we are the gods. And our soul is just as old as theirs. It's just that they're in a physical body and we're in a physical body and they're in the spiritual aspect. No different. But because we're in the physical body and this particular realm, they're on this realm too, we have to wield them and we are the masters. Once you, it's psychological. Remember the movie Last Dragon? He was looking to be the master. Didn't know who the master was. And he couldn't break the riddle until the last part where he's getting his ass whipped. He figured it out. I'm the damn master. And once he realized that he was the master, it was over. That's in the yogi, Kriya Yoga, self-realization. And the self-realization, once one realizes the self, then all initiations stop. That is the initiation when you realize self. And that's very lonely because you can't worship nobody no more.
So what you're doing is giving us the means and the ways and the power to do whatever it is we want to do.
Yeah, exactly.
But because we are here and striving to do whatever's correct for us and something righteous for black folks,
right?
You don't expect us to go out and use it to get no job with IBM or Xerox and none of that kind of stuff, right? And like
not unless there's an angle up in there where you're going to go in there as an agent and steal something or whatever type thing and all. But then again, the fact that, the odds of that is slim. And you got to have an angle there also too. Most of this stuff is dealing with spiritual work also too, because remember now, these spirits want to be free just like we supposed to want to be free. Right. More so than us because we got all kind of fucking vices that we want. Yeah. You see, these vices that we want.
And they kind of trapped and hang around helping us.
They're trapped and stuff because in actuality, these things reside inside of your body.
Shouldn't we direct it towards the emancipation of our people?
What kind of emancipation of the people? In what kind of way? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Sometimes we got to get out of a cliche way of thinking too. When we say that, what do we mean? What is emancipation of the people? We got to ask that question first. What is the emancipation of the people? The only true freedom there is death. You ain't talking about slaughtering a whole bunch of motherfuckers. Damn, a nigga getting a new Cadillac. I'm talking about he's solving somewhere. We on an island with a whole bunch of black people and shit. I don't want to be nowhere with a whole bunch of damn black people in the mind that they in. Because I have never known an oppressor until I get around a whole bunch of niggas on an island by my damn self. So my point is when we say these things, the liberation and all those kind of things here, are we throwing in the spiritual aspect what we need to be doing? We still talking about the stuff from the 60s. This has nothing to do with that. In that particular thing, you got to go to college in there and get some guns and stuff and do what the hell they doing and all. You see what I'm saying? And all that kind of thing. We're talking about spiritual matters here. And spiritual matters don't have nothing to do with the matrix, the illusion. They want to be free from this illusionary thing.
And we should concentrate on breaking up the matrix.
And that's one of the good things.
Breaking it up for yourself.
You see?
Breaking yourself out of it.
Yeah, right.
Right.
That's the first step. Is to free your mind, then your ass will follow. So that's the first step. So it's a working process. But then again, on the other hand, my point is also too, even if you run up on a brick wall in the physical and there's some shit going wrong, just remember you initiated into something that's real.
Right.
There should be some damn power coming from it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Should be some power coming from it. So the days of just saying, we got to, but then again, it's all for us to raise this shit. They say that we the new heirs of this thing. So therefore, I think that's one of the keys and stuff. And but you have to ask yourself just exactly what you want.
Right.
And before you get to the point of wanting some stuff on a greater magnitude, just get into practice just by wanting some bullshit.
Right.
If they give you the bullshit, then the next time you can ask for something greater. You see what I'm saying? But start off with some stuff that's in reach.
Right. Can we access the Akashic records to find out our past, life, and future?
That's just throwing around. What difference does it make about the past life and all? That's some shit that people. Well, the future is to kill. The future is to go to the next realm. The future. Are you talking about the future of the earth? You have to ask yourself clearly what you're talking about. If we talk about destroying this stuff, there is no future of the earth. Right. The only the future is to destroy this shit. Here's the story. That's what all the scriptures is talking about. The past life really doesn't even. We deal with those things because we just waking up. We just waking up and all. But I'm saying on the other thing and all. Those are just tools, but they're only just tools and stuff and experiences and stuff. You see what I'm saying? Accessing the future, there is no future. The future is now. And I don't want to know nothing that details more of this bullshit down here.
I'm telling you.
You see what I'm saying? Well, this bullshit down here and all, because everything down here is temporary. As long as we be down here, we might have some fleeting moments of comfort, but all is temporary. You see what I'm saying? So I think but right now you can do what you want to do with it and all, and yes, you can do that. And I think also too, like C. Pimentel used to say, if you want to do those things, then you go for that gold and stuff because you're supposed to look for spiritual gold gifts. For people who are trying to deal with something spiritual, you should be upset when you don't get a spiritual gift. So if you want to access the cosmic records, at the first level of trying to just figure out this shit is real, then you just but right now, you can do what you want to do with it and all. And yes, you can do that. And I think also, too, like C. Pimentel used to say, if you want to do those things, then you go for that gold and stuff because you're supposed to look for spiritual gold gifts. For people who are trying to deal with something spiritual, you should be upset when you don't get a spiritual gift. So if you want to access the cosmic records, at the first level of trying to just figure out this shit is real, then you should doggone try to do that. And you should always be enthusiastic because your sincerity is your credentials. So you should be upset when things don't happen. So it's not this whole thing where we got to have patience. No, you should literally be mad if the motherfuckers don't do some shit spiritual, even if it's some small shit.
Right. So what if they never do anything for you? And you just tell them to go away and go. What if they never do anything for you?
More than likely you're going to have some type of something is going to happen. It's just a matter of how you interpret it. But I think a lot of times, just one thing they did say. They did say, don't look for shit on how shit go on TV or the movies.
Right.
I think we have a certain preconceived notion on how things is done magically based on these movies and based on stuff like that. And sometimes It don't happen that way, but then again, you can have a thought of some shit that just how stuff is lined up during the day, during the course of the day, and you go, man, this is some amazing shit. So I think it works on that particular plane. I think if you look for a lot of stuff, don't look for the literal too. You see, don't look for the literal too, because that's Hollywood. Sometimes it's thoughts. I get them a lot, and I'm baffled. I'm just as blown away with it if I saw a mug just jump and burn up in fire in front of my face. You see what I'm saying? I think this is dealing more with consciousness, because that's what the spirit realm is. Remember, don't look for stuff that happened in the Matrix, because the Matrix is an illusion.
Right.
Although there might be some things that might occur that way. But then again, we also talk about narrowing it down to a consciousness. And believe me, whenever it comes in your mind, it's going to be just as great as something that Hollywood taught you to expect. I'm just talking about thought. I'm just talking about the way some shit line up. This happened, this happened, this happened. You see what I'm saying? This happened. Those particular things happen also too. Those are things. I want to get into this one last thing, and all. Spirit just told me what it was. I want to get into this. Let me just get with this thing here first. This is also to look forward to based on the Holy Guardian Angel. The Holy Guardian Angel is in the crawling thing. It's supposed to be your higher self. It's supposed to be your higher self. And it's called a secret lover. Each of us have a secret lover, a lover who awaits just behind the erotic images that flood our minds during sexual arousal and in sleep. A dream lover who disguises as individuals on whom we fall in love with. An ideal lover who is adored, who has adored us since the beginning of our individual existence, and who will never abandon us until the extent we merge into the absolute Godhead. We momentarily feel the embrace of the secret lover in the ecstasy of orgasm and in moments of rapture and beauty in music, dance, and visual arts, and our nature overcomes us. However, the experience of a broken heart is often because another individual does not live up to the perfection of the secret lover. The reason of the sexual experiences are often better in, the reason the sexual experiences are often better in imagination than the memory, or in memory than it actually is, because in the imagination, the secret lover is nearest to us. Personal relationships always are somewhat disappointing to us because in truth, there never can be a relationship that matches the one we already have in the secret love. This is the secret standard in which everything should be measured, or everything is measured. The irony is that most of us are not aware of the relationship of the secret lover. Surrender to this secret lover is the central theme of most religions and doctrines and practices of the so-called world religions. Tend to delete the direct and I have to slow down when I'm doing this stuff when I'm all up on a high level. Tend to delete and deflect and detour the individual from the genuine personal experience. And it goes on to say that this particular secret lover is your own higher self and your holy guardian angel. But every now and then you meet an individual that shares that same energy, and that can share in that same secret lover also too. So the secret lover is your own higher self, or what is called a holy guardian angel. The knowledge of the conversation of the holy guardian angel also too, in this particular secret lover. So what you have to do is you have to surrender to this particular secret lover, and basically how you to surrender to this secret lover is things in your head that you desire, that you never manifest because society says you're not supposed to do that, or you too shame. In order to do it, you have to get back to this truth and this true essence of what It's inside of your mind to bring it forth. And then you, by doing that, you also surrender to the secret lover, which is your own higher self. And one way to do that is to break all these fucking taboos and become free outside of what society says you're supposed to do.
Right.
And that's the first step in actually bringing up what your spiritual aspect is and what your spiritual nature is to eliminate all barriers and boundaries of what society and what the neighborhood and what the teacher and what your parents and what your fucked up family. The worst motherfuckers on the earth is these goddamn family members. Tell you, and you doing some stuff based on you saying, I can't do that and I can't do this. Once you surrender, you see what I'm saying? Surrender to all restrictions. You see what I'm saying? Then you start to meet this particular secret lover of your higher self. But you can't put restrictions on yourself. You see what I'm saying? On your particular self and all, based on all these expectations of what you think you're supposed to do. Go into the deepest part now and start dealing with what the hell you are and doing what you like based on what your spirit say you like. And not what traditions say you're supposed to like. No restrictions. You see what I'm saying? That's what the whole secret lover thing is also too, in surrendering to your own true essence. So you have to break out all barriers and what you think you was made you human in this fucked up life, which is some stuff just as basically what made you robot. You see, what made you robot. So people say, I can't do that. You can do what the fuck you want to do. And you have to ask yourself, why do you say you can't do that based on what you think another person is going to think?
Right.
Or what you think what is ladylike?
Right.
You see, or what you think what is male-like. Case in point, sometimes it calls to show your true feelings. But because you're supposed to be masculine, you don't surrender. And the surrendering might be the main aspect in what is going to manifest for you, but what you fearing is not going to manifest based on some preconceived notion.
Right.
Same thing when it comes to the whole feminine aspect of what you think is what's ladylike and all this kind of thing. And I think sometimes it's got to cut true to the essence of this particular aspect of what you are and not this particular fictitious shit. And that way you give over to that particular secret lover. You see what I'm saying? And also, too, giving over to the secret lover is also giving over to some of the desires that your spirit says it wants to enjoy. The indulging of what your spirit thinks it wants to enjoy, but what society say you don't supposed to be fucking around with that. Also might take sometimes just being nasty to somebody that normally you wouldn't be, but you know that person ain't about shit. But you might hold it in. So there's times for everything and stuff like that. You see what I'm saying? And all. You know, so that's what this whole thing is also dealing with. Any questions? What's that?
I just got a statement on just yesterday, just about saying giving you porn libations and you gotta go get your little trinkets and everything.
Yeah.
It's just stripping yourself. Cause I've been pouring libations and everything like that, and we got a little bracelet supposed to keep bad spirits off me and all that stuff, and just keep the evil eye off. That's what my man told me when I bought it. And I haven't been wearing it for about a week. When I went to the airport to pick you up, remember me and you was like, you know what I'm saying, your plane was late, and I was there early, so I figured I'd go, let me grab me something to eat. I'm in the airport, why not? Burger King line long as all get out. I go they got the Cheers, like a restaurant in the airport. I go in there. Chief thing on the menu was like the clam chowder. So let me get some clam chowder. I eat that and I was cool all the way till we got home. And the question and answer at the beginning of the meeting was, I was all right. As soon as y'all got the porn libations, I got sick, violently ill. I went upstairs, and I'm talking about my stomach emptied out. I went to dry heaves and everything for about 5 minutes. It was bad. I didn't know what was going on. It was I just laid down. I had to put a towel on my head. And I just laid down. I was knocked out. Talk about 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Y'all, that's when I popped up back downstairs. And everybody was like, ooh, my father, how you doing? I'm like, all right. He brought me some colloidal silver. You know what you call it? Yeah. And I was drinking that. and I started feeling better. The regular water didn't even hold in my stomach. It was emptying out too. And I'm sitting there, my brother laughed like, well, the clam chowder, one thing you get food poisoning out of, they can do anything to clam chowder, you never know,
Right.
I'm like, yeah, I don't know why I go up there, man. It didn't even hit me till I got home. I was like, I ain't had no protection. I would just walk through the airport like I was just a regular somebody. I walked through the airport like 2 or 3 times because I was so early. And I kept checking on the planes and everything. The second time I walked through the airport, it seemed like every time I seen the monitor that was like supposed to be watching the crowd, I would see myself. And I'm like, and I know I didn't see it the first time, but I was looking at the monitors just because. And once I got home, I got a baby leg up on my wall. I got home, I looked at it like, boy, I should have had you with me. Laughed. I walked to the bathroom, and it just hit me. Everything hit me. Like, you was walking around with no protection. Just everything was matter with you, and it wasn't until they did them libations and called on the spirits for some protection just over the lecture. Because when I got dismissed out of the lecture. I couldn't even be here to watch nothing, hear nothing, because I had to get fixed. Because there was something in me that was bad.
Right.
And it was like when I was sitting in Cheers, there wasn't no black people in Cheers. All the black people in Burger King. It was like, it was 2 brothers on the other end. They was Uncle Tom's from Ann Arbor. He was bragging on them. It was an old guy and a young guy. Old guy bragging how he been up there since 57. In Ann Arbor since 57. Sent all his kids to U of M. His wife graduated from U of M. I've been asking him, what you do? And, me, I'm just a simple man. But he sit up in Cheers and everything. I was the only brother I had on a t-shirt and jeans. I'm up in Cheers with my cornrows. All the brothers looked like me in the back. And it was just something weird. I was like, and Bobby said, boy, what you tell me? He was like, man, when I found Bobby, he said, come on, let's go. And it was like, I just got my bags and everything, so we ready to go. So it was like, I was there absorbing all this airport, this mayhem that go on in the airport, and it's like Bobby comes, boom, boom. He ain't never in the airport alone. I doubt if the cameras even had time to turn around and see who he is.
Well, see, also too, what happened is also that's what all this is for. Basically, if you see the ancient priests and stuff, they put this on because those was breastplates.
Right.
And basically, they just caught all. They basically blocked and caught all the doggone energy also too. So it's even scientific in that particular part too, based on the whole breastplate. Also, too, you would think with all this on that it would be. Only thing I have to do is when I go to the airport with all this stuff on, only thing I got to take out of my pocket is the change. Because that's the only thing that hadn't gone to your whole aura and your electromagnetic force field. But when I go through, I don't never have to take off none of this stuff. But if it's new, you have to take it off and on because it hasn't bonded to your whole body energy.
Right.
So basically, you're right, man. That's the whole thing based on. That's why when they had things on, we was thinking it was for decoration, including the earrings and all that stuff. The original thing has its origin in a breastplate to ward off certain energies, so certain shit don't actually get on you.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. So that's it.
Yeah, when you mentioned the earrings, I just thought about how there are a lot of meridian lines or acupuncture pressure points in your ear. And like Dr. Blair had some magnetic earrings that you can put at different locations in your ear that will reduce your hunger. So like if you want to diet, you can put it up to the top. If you want to quit smoking, you can put it in the middle, because it will affect those meridians. So I imagine if you got an earring with a little juju on it, you can put it somewhere along your earlobe, and it'll affect certain parts of your spiritual, certain part of your bioelectric body.
Yeah, I would believe so too. There's other type of magic, and stuff, but it might be a little too grotesque. That you can, like I said, I mentioned it the other day, that you can line yourself up with that type of stuff, with this breastplate stuff. That can even work even powerful as a talisman. But it has something to do with the whole sexual energy thing.
Could you speak on that a little bit?
Well, basically, also, too, even that fluids and stuff, if you was to dip this damn ring up in there, you'd make it a super ring. And you can do stuff like that, or even sperm or something like that. It's a whole nother realm and stuff and all. And it might sound grotesque and all, that's because we've been trained to look at stuff that way.
Right.
But we're talking about other forms of actually doing stuff. Especially the vaginal fluids and stuff that has a lot of power to it.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? A lot of power to it. You know, and stuff like that and all. As a matter of fact, that book I told you last week, last night, this particular book, they have a section in there on how you charge different things. This book here, Modern Sexual Magic, Secrets of Erotic Sexuality by Donald Michael Craig's book. It has a section in here on how you charge this stuff. I sit down and all, you know, and stuff, yeah. This book here, Donald Michael Craig's book, Modern Sexual Magic, Secrets of Erotic Spirituality, they go into that. This book here is complete with just about everything you want to know, because it don't just deal with the whole sexual tantra as far as just dealing with the sexual energy. It also deals with high magic, with talismans and all that kind of things also too. It deals with high magic also too, you know. But you know, it's all European books you have to take with a grain of salt and all, but still yet, this is some of the best stuff you got going on right now, is this particular stuff here too. So that has some too. Any other questions?
Just a comment.
Yeah.
They put an article in the Vibe a couple of months ago, I think it was January, and they had a whole talk on Voudoun, the whole resurgence and ability. This, after I read the one section on just asking them to get rid of this energy and stress from family, ex-boyfriend, whatever, I did that. And then the next day, in the morning, I went out, something sent me out to the car, and there was a pigeon on the ground. Well, the pigeon's head was off, and it was on the ground, and the seagull had the pigeon in his mouth, right in front of the car. And there was blood on the ground, and I was like, oh, okay, well, that's the way it's got to come to clear that stuff. Right. So,
yeah.
And I had never done it before.
And it worked?
Oh, yeah, it worked. One day.
One day, and see what it...
Because I already believe enough.
Yeah.
So all I got to do is know what...
Well, especially if you get it for the first time, a lot of times it works for the simple fact that they know that this is critical. That if you do it this time and it don't work, then it might never work again, and you might be a great ally. You see what I'm saying? And what are the odds of you reading that and then you come here and come to this lecture and all this thing come about? Nothing is for nothing.
Yeah, I went to the library yesterday and something took me into the kids department in the teen section. I went right over to I was looking at internet stuff and I looked at the Satan stuff. And I got both of the books and brought them home.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
So I'm like aligning up with
the
action. Right, and what to get, you know, clear about it. Right. Because you're looking for the pure healer, the ultimate goal. I'm looking for the pure, proper healing. And then I bought a book from the shrine on healing, the night healers. And they were showing you glowing at all of the priests.
Well, it's all lines up. It all lines up.
So it's about
and you'd be surprised what you can do with just basically just doing something. I was supposed to take a spiritual bath. I told the sisters to go buy the lemons and the limes and boil them and dump it in the tub and put the sea salt on them. Sea salt, the lemons and limes, boil a whole bag of lemons and limes, dump it in the tub with the water, get in there and take the bath. When I went to go get mine, I didn't have no lemons, no limes, and nothing, but I had 2 coconuts. And some coconut juice. So I boiled the damn coconuts, cracked them up, boiled the coconut. I had a little bit of this minus one left in another bottle, smaller bottle. I poured the rest of that in there and boiled that shit. All the stuff that came to mind. And I boiled that, and I put the coconut juice on my head because I had a can of that and stuff. And whatever it is, I got some phone calls and stuff. And who was on the other line was responding to the shit real damn good on a sexual aspect. I knew that I had did the right damn thing. You see.
It worked.
Yeah. I knew it worked. You know, so so basically what came to mind was I went up in there, and it's just like any kind of thing. Some things I saw, I knew I didn't want that, but I knew that these things that I did want, because it's all based on your particular energy, was right for the actual the cleansing.
Right.
Also too. So it's all in order too. You know. Any more questions? You know? Well, it's it's been good, But then again, on the other hand, a lot of this stuff is actually dealing with the actual power and the access of what we can do. But then again, we can't wait on nobody outside of us to come to save us.
Right.
We're the ones that's going to do this shit because the simple fact, we're the ones that's talking about it.
Right.
We're the ones that's even asking the question that we want to even be this way. You see what I'm saying? For the mere fact that you asked the question, you see what I'm saying? You're the one that's supposed to bring the answer.
Right.
You see, so it all coincides and all comes together.
Ain't that how they say it in the Matrix?
Well, you can go to the door. I can take you to the door, but you have to walk through.
You gotta walk through.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? So it's all in order, too. It's all in order. So I guess that's it. I've had a ball, you know.
I do too.
Yeah.
When you coming back, Bob?
Huh?
When you coming back?
You asked me that the last time I was.
So I didn't get a notice, but I found out I
Not on
ran
the-
into somebody in the
You
street.
must not be on the mailing list. I made flyers to every.
I
No,
found
wait,
out.
stop. Did you sign today?
Yes,
Okay, you'll be on the list. You'll be on the list.
Yeah, so you know,
I
who
sent
knows?
everybody one.
Good ones
You
for
know,
me to be
it'll
here.
be soon, I guess.
We had been talking about you anyway.
But this is her first time.
She had been telling me, I had been saying, reading, looking at the tapes.
Oh, okay.
So I had been studying
Yeah.
through that.
So you know.
I'm ready now.
Actually, and also too, as far as the warfare, do you know that these lectures are a form of warfare also too?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So it's also, we're still thinking of this particular thing with these two eyes and we don't understand. We're talking about changing the electromagnetic force field
Right.
and manipulating things on another level so you speak it into existence and actually it's happening.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's key that it's all happening right here, 2000, in the summer solstice and this whole 9 yards. So it's all good.
Awesome.
But call on these things, side. That's the key now. Now you got something to call on, and just use that. And if you, like I said, if you fuse this with the Yoruba, you really got some good energy. You see what I'm saying? And you can use it. You can take these things here, pour your libation with the veves here, put these on the wall or on the floor, mainly in the wall, and then this ritual thing of the University of Chicago, it came out of the Egyptians. You repolarize this because you got the working energy to carry out what's on this list. But like I said also too, the things that they say you have to have on this list, only thing you got to do is just read it out. One of the key things is a white candle, red candle, black candle, and because Urzuli's number is her color is pink. Get a pink candle for the goddess energy on this Urzuli thing in here. But so 7-day candles, white, red, black, and pink for these things and all, and just about anything can happen. You know what I'm saying? For the loved one, for the love rituals, always use the pink thing also too. What's that, sir?
On the 4 pennies on
Yeah.
the corner, when you call on the deity, do you do all 4 corners first and then call, or?
Just put the pennies down and call.
Okay.
Put the pennies down and say, I'm calling on the leg bar for this, because you're making your altar. So I'm calling on the leg bar for financial assistance.
And then you go to the next corner and do
No, you put them all down. Put all the pennies on the corner.
and
Then call on him last.
Okay.
Yeah. Just put it down. Or if the spirit tells you to go to each corner and do it, then you do it that way. But basically, you just put it all down. Because it wouldn't be on all 4 corners if you call on each time. It's only on all 4 corners when they placed on all 4 corners. So that would be it.
And you take the drum and just blow at each corner.
Just take the rum and just blow 4 waves.
4 ways.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get in the middle of the street or whatever, or you can blow it on each corner. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But this one here, like I said, this one here comes with the issue. It comes with the invocation. You can, if you say that and all, and it has the libations for both issue, Legba, and the libations from all that. But what also I want you to do is to take the staple out here and take these big layers and put them on the wall and polarize at least one room that you can go into and use these things as an altar. You see what I'm saying? On each wall, this is powerful stuff. Like that and all. So any other questions? Yeah, what's that?
Remind your political sexual activity that your powers
Like you said, is it, if you use this for sexual activity?
use that and combine it.
Oh yeah, you talking some real strong power there. You right on the money with that. You know, and like I said before, yeah, you right on the money when you do it with that. That's one of the keys. That's really one of the keys. You get a lot of aspect of that in this particular book here. This particular book here, I like it because it deals more with the magical side as well as the sex tantra side and all, you know, also too. So any more questions? How many hours is that?
6.5 on tape.
Okay. Huh?
6.5 on tape.
Oh, okay.
And I want to suggest, go see the Pokemon movie, rent the first one on video, and go see this newest one, but open your eyes and analyze it.
Yeah.
And think about it while you watch it. Because they got your kids hooked. You know?
There's nothing by mistake in 2000. Everything is carefully orchestrated. We can even say that everything that you call news is nothing but some people invent some shit and get the movie Harrison Bergeron. Harrison Bergeron. That's the one you want to get because everything that we dealing with, they showed up rolling in that particular movie. Harrison Bergeron. By dumbing you down. But everything that we got on the TV could very well be staged, and more than likely it is.
And I tell you, Blockbuster in the city doesn't have Harrison Bergeron. I've gone to several of them.
You didn't get it? You saw it yet?
Yeah, I couldn't find it.
Not in the city. I guess you got to go to the burbs, you know.
Got to go to the
The
mall.
good part about it is I got a duplicator now, so I'll just send you one.
Okay.
Yeah, I can just send you one. That's the good part about it now.
You can get a lot of books from the suburban libraries. They're not necessarily real updated.
No, that's
This is a video.
the video. That's
Yeah,
the
Harrison
movie.
That's
Bergeron.
what I mean, videos. You can get videos from the suburban libraries.
Yeah, but I don't know.
I'll try the Detroit Public Library. They might have it. They read them out for $1, I think.
$2 now. I live down Brooklyn. They're $2.
Oh, okay.
But they're free as well. Thank you for coming.
Okay. Yeah, I get it. You know, but I ain't got nothing to do now and all. I'm a bachelor now, so shit, this is the highlight now. This is the damn date now. Sitting in the house by your fucking self. Because the whole aspect of the whole, well, she gone, I gotta get out and get somebody new. You 7 years in a relationship, you gotta re-socialize yourself and even talk to a motherfucker right.
That's right. You know, let me have one of those.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. Which one of them? Yeah, this one? Yeah. Yeah.
Is that the one you read?
Yeah. Yeah.
How much is that?